We're glad you're listening to Rhema for Today.
I said to myself, as I read that, why can't this learned man see that? The answer is very simple. Who's right? He said, Paul or Jesus? I'm prone to follow Jesus. I said to myself out loud, both of them are right. You're not rightly dividing the word of truth. What Jesus said, he was talking to the Jews. It didn't apply to the Gentile. Paul is talking to the church. It don't apply to the Jews.
Welcome to Rhema for Today. Kenneth E. Hagin continues his teaching, God's Healing Mercy Series, next on Rhema for Today Radio. Also, later in today's program, I'll tell you about this month's special radio offer. Right now, let's join Kenneth E. Hagin for today's message.
To show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. Now notice, that's not all of it. Rightly dividing the word of truth. It's so easy not to rightly divide the word of truth. And if you don't rightly divide it, you'll bring confusion. Are you listening to me? Rightly dividing the word of truth. I make mention of the fact sometime that I was holding a meeting in 1957, the month of February, in the city of Los Angeles, California. And I picked up the Los Angeles Times during the month of February of 1957. And on the front page, I saw a picture of a man alighting from an airplane out at the airport there. A reporter was there, photographer was there to get his picture. Then in reading this article on the very front page, you had to know that this man was a man of some fame and renown. They said they didn't know that he was coming, but it would learn when they had learned from some source that, after he was already airborne, that he was on his way, you see, there to Los Angeles. He was the president of a college and seminary back east. Very, you could readily understand, very man of renown and fame. So when they heard that he was on this plane, then the Los Angeles Times sent a reporter and a photographer there to interview him and get his picture, you see, and put it right on the front page. And I got to town, they didn't interview me, put me on the front page. So he had to be of some renown and fame. And so the reporter asked him why he had come to Los Angeles, and he said, well, it's a combination of both business and pleasure. He's going to be there for several weeks. And so he had come, you see, for some vacation to get out of the snow in the winter back in the east, February, And then also he didn't state what his business was. It wasn't anybody's business, Then in the process of time, about a week later, I picked up the Los Angeles Times. And I noticed this same man was speaking at one of the seminaries there in the Los Angeles area. There's a number of them there. And again, they sent the reporter out there and gave almost his whole address. They took the back page of the first section, number one section, brought it down, and put his whole address in the paper. So for him to put virtually the whole address, they might have edited down a little bit, but the whole back page, you see. Well, that he had to be a man of some fame and renown. Now, you see, he's speaking here at this seminary, you see, where they're turning out preachers. And so he said in the course, and so I read it very carefully, word for word. And in the course of his speech, lecture, to the student body and the faculty of this renowned seminary, he said, I am going to revive an old argument. Now, you see, a lot of people don't know this unless you've studied on a higher level, seminary level. You won't necessarily get it in some Bible schools. And that is this, he went on to say this, there has, as you seminary students know and as theologians know, there has raged for the past 400 years in theological circles and seminaries a debate. Who's right? Paul or Jesus? Because see, he went on to say, and he pointed out a few scriptures. Some things Paul says in his letter to the churches contradicts what Jesus said in the gospel. Vice versa. Some things Jesus said in the Gospels contradicts what Paul said in the epistles. Now, one example, and I'll not go into it, is the 7th chapter of 1 Corinthians, where Paul talks about marriage and man and woman, and so on. You try to interpret the 7th chapter of 1 Corinthians in light of what Jesus said in the Gospels, and you become hopelessly confused and can't find the answer. So this great learned man, supposedly a man of fame and renown, said, well, I'm sure Paul was a good man. Well, I'm glad he was, but he's more than a good man. He's a man of God. But I'm prone to follow Jesus. Now, you see, that sounds very religious. Most anybody would have said, well, you wouldn't find fault with somebody following Jesus, but I thought to myself, now here's a man with all these years of education and all those initials on the end of his name, and he's talking to people here that are seminary. They're students that have already graduated from university. Now then, they're over in seminary working on further degrees. 4 more years. Some of them are about to graduate of 8 years. 4 years of university, 4 years of seminary. They're about to graduate, and they're all confused. Education doesn't have the answer. Now, it's very simple. I thought to myself as I read that, here's just an old boy, that didn't go to Bible school. God just raised up as a teenager from the bed of sickness and healed me miraculously. But the answer is so simple, you see, that I could see it. I said to myself as I read that, why can't this learned man see that? The answer is very simple. Who's right? He said, Paul or Jesus? I'm prone to follow Jesus. I said to myself out loud, both of them are right. You're not rightly dividing the word of truth. What Jesus said, he was talking to the Jews. It didn't apply to the Gentile. Paul is talking to the church. It don't apply to the Jews. Are you listening? Very, very simple. All you got to do is just do what Paul himself said do. Rightly divide. Rightly divide. Well, you see, that same thing's true on this suffering bit. People are not rightly dividing. You see, it's strange. They'll take these scriptures now. I'm just reading after one. Bless his heart. You'd think, dear God, what's wrong with him? I'm like Bosworth almost. I just can't understand them. I mean, I can't understand their thinking. Here's this ministry's wife's got a nervous breakdown. She's in the psychiatric ward. Here's his daughter, got a malignant, operated on for malignancy. And he's supposed to believe in divine healing. Well, that doesn't mean it's wrong for her to be operated on. I'm just bringing out the fact that he didn't know what's what, And so he gained great comfort in that Jesus suffered in the Garden of Gethsemane and sweat, as it were, great drops of blood. So then that's what's happening to him through his wife in the psychiatric ward and his daughter being operated on. He's suffering with Jesus. But you see, there's no comparison there. Is there? I said, is there? No. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. No. You will suffer persecution. The Bible said it's coming now. That's one promise that a lot of people don't claim. Isn't that strange? They don't claim that one. See, he said, they that live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. You ever hear anybody claim that one? I point out sometimes we're great. We're really great to claim this over here in Mark. All of you are acquainted with that one over there in Mark, aren't you? About the 100-fold return. You want to turn over and read that with me? 10th chapter of Mark. Now let's read it. You know, it's amazing when you read the whole context how different it looks. Let's start reading of the 28th verse of the 10th chapter of Mark. Then Peter began to say unto him, Lo, we have left all, and have followed thee. Now somebody said that one of the simplest rules of Bible interpretation is who's doing the talking, who they're talking to, and what they're talking about. Well, Peter's doing the talking here. He's talking to Jesus. He's talking about having left all and followed him. Then see what's happening here is talking about people that have left all and followed Jesus. That's what he's talking about. Amen. And Jesus answered and said, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left. See, we have left all, Peter said. We the apostles, we've left all and have followed thee. Isn't it? No man hath left house or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife. That don't mean now that you run off and left your wife with some other woman. That means sometime if God called you, you may have to go. I had to go leave my wife, our children, leave my children. Because they've got to be educated. No, it's not right to leave those children with somebody else. Unscriptural, unholy, ungodly. If I could think of something else, I'd say it. Don't go off and leave your children. Well, we're going to get the world saved. Now, no, you're not going to get the world saved. Your children's going to hell while you're out trying to get the world saved. Not worth it. So if God called you to go, well, then somebody's going to have to stay home, see that those children are seen after and taught and raised and educated. And it's not easy. I tell students all the time, don't you go unless it's a life and death proposition, unless you have to. Then God will make it up to you.
Welcome to Rhema for Today with Kenneth and Lynette Hagin. You can find more great materials by Kenneth E. Hagin, Kenneth W. Hagin, and the rest of the Hagin family by visiting our online bookstore. I want to tell you about this month's radio offer. We're offering Kenneth E. Hagin's 4-CD series, Knowing God as Your Father. Next is Lynette Hagin's slimline book entitled God's Peace. Experience it all the time. Last but not least is Kenneth Hagin's 3-CD series, It Shall Come to Pass. All these items are for the special price of only $45. To order, call toll-free 1-888-FAITH-99. That's 1-888-324-8499. You can also order online at rhema.org. That's rhema.org. rhema.org. Or you can write to Kenneth Hagin Ministries. Our address is P.O. Box 50126, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74150. We always love to hear from our listeners, so write in or email us today and become a part of Rhema for Today. Right now, let's join Kenneth and Lynette Hagin.
You know, honey, we are taking applications now for Rhema Bible Training College for the fall semester. Wow, it's hard to believe that this year is going by.
It's going by so fast.
Yeah, and so if you're interested, you can just go to rbtc.org/apply, and there's an application right there.
Tomorrow, more from Kenneth E. Hagin with his teaching, God's Healing Mercy series. If you'd like, you can visit our online bookstore and also purchase other faith-building teachings. That's at rhema.org. Thanks for listening to Rhema for Today with Kenneth and Lynette Hagin.